Good evening, guys. It's Priscilla with I Am a Voice. Welcome to my channel. If you are new and have not subscribed, or please do so and hit the like button. It really helps me out to get the word out of what the Lord has been sharing with me. So this video, I wanted to come on real quick and I think it's just been something I've been dragging to try to get out because it's just, I know I have to put this video out, and I honestly didn't even know what to start with or what to say or how to say any of this. It's concerning a dream I had on August 12th, not too long ago, and it kind of goes with part of my testimony. I cannot tell all of my testimony right now because it would take a really long time. But you're going to hear this dream and it's going to kind of give you an idea about what I'm talking about, and I'll explain some things at the end if you please hold tight. This dream was given to me specifically for groups of people who are stuck in this situation and need to hear this. So listen up. August 12th, I had this dream, and there was a girl in my dream talking to me, and she was going to take me on this tour. And we were going through a portal, and she said something, she was showing me that we had to go down to get to this place. And so we wound up there, right? And it was like a castle looking door. And it was like, it had this dungeon feel, castle feel. And I'm talking like the whole thing, like the lights on the outside with the fire and the smoke and all of that. It was just weird. It just had a dark feel to it. And she was trying to explain how we had to go down to get there. And so we went through, and it turns out we were at a strip club. I'm hoping my music's not too loud. I have it on in the background, and I don't want to stop my video to get on my Spotify. So but anyway, so we were going, and she was taking me on this tour in this portal to this strip club. And we went inside, and it was dark, and there was like smoke everywhere, and there were different rooms, and we saw a girl, and she said, "Look, you see that girl? We usually see her at church, but she looks so different here. Like, she just seems older, but she's not like that at church." And I had this knowing in my dream that this girl was there to earn money, not because her heart was in it. Apparently she had a relationship with the Lord, but she just was trying to work and do anything she could. And she didn't seem focused on that lifestyle. She was there to help the girls count their money, do whatever they do, clean, take drinks to the tables, or whatever she did there. And so I had this understanding in my dream that her heart was not in it. She was there only to make money and nothing more. And so we're going through to the different areas, and I see another room, and this room was like a stage, and I saw chairs, and it was girls who were getting ready to go on stage, and people were just sitting in the chairs waiting, and there was such a dark feel. And keep in mind, I've dreamt this kind of thing before, because here's where my testimony comes in. That's what I come from. That is what I used to do for a living. I worked in a strip club. And that's not easy to talk about on video, to put out there to who knows how many people see this. But if it helps somebody, I know that the Lord has been pressing it on me to make this video because of the groups of people that I am getting ready to address. One being the girl whose heart was not in it, but she was there to make money. And so we keep on walking, and there is another big room, and it looks like theater seating. It kind of goes up like a stadium or something. And there was a guy, and he was sitting in the chairs, and he was very loud and drunk and obnoxious. And the weird part was, in the dream, his head was weird. It was like open, like a hat, like a open skull with a screw. And it reminded me of that saying, you know, when people say your head's not screwed on right, because his head literally was not screwed on right. Like, he was loud and obnoxious and drunk and just acting up, and he was trying to talk to me. And I remember in the dream I told him, so let me read it because I'm getting off track trying to remember. But so let me see. She took me through a portal to get there. We went down to this castle door, and a woman who worked there also was from church, from a church. I don't know what church, but I knew she went to church. And the feeling was that her heart wasn't in that place, but she needed money, and so she worked there, not as a stripper, but helping clean, count money, and helping the girls. There was theater seating going up, and there was a drunk, obnoxious man up on the seats, and he had a strange head in my dream, like it was open like a lid, and you could see a screw in it. And it reminded me of that saying, your head's not screwed on right. I don't know why that came to me in my dream, but it makes sense. And he was laughing and talking to me. And I told him in the dream, Jesus is coming soon. That's probably, like, that's all I talk about. So, I mean, that's not all. I'm also a civilized, normal behaving person out in public. But in my mind, I'm thinking that. And when I get a chance to talk to people, I tell them that the Lord is coming soon, because he is. And so I told him this. I said, the Lord is coming soon. And he just like seemed to laugh and mock and say like, yeah, right. And then I told him, I used to do this. This is what I used to do for a living, but God was calling me out of it. God began to call me out of this lifestyle, and I felt it while I was in here swindling men out of money. I was being convicted, and I wound up ministering to men instead, asking them, what are you doing here? Don't you have a family? Don't you have a wife? And so I wound up not making much money towards the end at all. And so anyway, I had his attention, and he still seemed to be mocking me, but he was now following me. And we wound up walking out of there, and I was just telling him, like, you know, you got to come out of this. And he was telling me he came from Christianity, but walked away. And he was still mocking me, but he was also listening. And then he threw out a scripture and said, yeah, Isaiah 54:17 says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And I was like, yeah, that's right. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. And you need to get back into it. You need to get back to God now while you still can, because he's coming back any moment now. And you don't want to be caught in these types of places living like this. And so then he was listening. And that was that scene left. And then I thought of the girl who worked there, and I just kept thinking, like, she needs to be telling people. She needs to be telling people. And this is her way to work in here and still minister to the girls who were in there. They need to hear about the Lord in any way that she can tell them. And then I woke up, and so I just wanted to talk for a little bit about how there's at least 3 that I wrote down, groups of people who are in these places. 3 main groups. I mean, you can go all off on details of what types of people go in there. So many types of people. But the 3 that I wrote down from this dream that the Lord showed me to obviously share, because these are the people stuck. The man who I know, he knew the Lord, and he made it clear, like, I know the Lord, and he threw out a scripture, but he was also there enjoying it up, living it up, not happy, I'm sure. A lot of these men are just there to fulfill something, spend money, they're on their lunch breaks, they don't want to go home, or they're there to meet other guys, or people invite them, whatever the case may be. But these men, particularly the one in my dream, he had walked away from his faith. And so the Lord was showing me to mention these people because God is calling you. You're watching this right now, and you're stuck because you're in the middle of, like, you hear the Lord calling, you know time is short, something doesn't feel right, it's not sitting right in your spirit, and yet you find yourself in these places, spending your money, spinning your wheels. You're just going and going and going, and you're empty. You leave empty. You don't leave with one of the girls. You don't leave with anything. You just leave empty, and you do it all over again. It's like a cycle. And it's time for you to get out. It's time for you to walk back to the Lord, like the prodigal. He's waiting there. It says that he was, in chapter 15, go read the prodigal. He spent all his money, all his inheritance. He demanded it early and then squandered it all on, like, crazy living, probably this kind of thing. He just blew it all, and he had nothing, to the point where he was eating with the pigs, eating junk. And he just thought to himself, like, what am I doing? I need to go back. And even if I go back, I don't even desire to I don't deserve to sit with my father. I'll just be a servant. But when he went back, it says in the Bible, when he came to his right mind, so that tells me that he thought about all his actions and how he needed to get back to the Lord. And when he came to his right mind, he went back, and it says that the Father was at a distance waiting. Just like our Father in heaven, he's waiting. Like, it doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter that you're in there. It doesn't matter that you've been there every night and you've done things, and maybe you have taken somebody home, because trust me, it's crazy in there. All the things you think could be happening are happening. Drugs, sex, lots of stuff. Let's just keep it there. But it doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't matter what you've done. Like me, I was there doing terrible things, and in order to be able to even go to work, you have to kind of cloud out your mind with drinking. I kept a bottle of tequila in my freezer, and I would just take a shot in the morning and get high and smoke out, and then walk to work and walk home from there in the middle of like 2-3 in the morning, just walking home. I could have died, guys, but the Lord had other plans. He is so good, and he's no respecter of persons. He's just waiting for you. And trust me, it didn't just happen like one night. There's a deeper story to this, a deeper story. But while I'd be going to work, because I thought, I don't know what else to do. I don't have money. I don't know how to make ends meet. And pay for my apartment. I lived downtown, and I didn't know how to do a lot of things, you know. I wasn't very educated, and so I just really was like going, but also going to work, praying like, God, get me out of this. And I know he was drawing me out as I was in there. It was getting so uncomfortable that I was, like I said, ministering to men in a way, not talking about Jesus is none of that, but I would be like, what are you doing here? And why would you be here if you're married? And it was just getting to the point where it was like, it's time to stop. And so either way, God made a way. I wound up becoming a hostess at a restaurant, easy peasy. If you don't know how to do a lot, start with something small like that. Go be a hostess. You learn, you seat people at tables, you work your butt off, and you make money enough to pay your bills. It started with that. But then later during that time, went to beauty school, got my license, did hair for many years, and made good money. And then later on, I went to nursing school. I mean, you start somewhere. I'm getting off track, but that was the one person I was talking about that's in that kind of place, men who shouldn't be in there, and they know you feel, you know, you hearing God to say it's time to come back. The things you used to hear when you were young about the Lord and him coming back one day and getting your heart right before something happens, it doesn't matter. I mean, even if the Lord wasn't coming back next week or next month or whatever, anything could happen to you. You could be driving and that could be your last day. There is no time to spare. You don't know, you're not promised tomorrow. And so you who is out there and you are, maybe you're married, maybe you're doing things you have no business doing, and you're just going to waste time. It's a habit. It's time to turn around and turn back to God. It's time to ask him back in your heart and ask him to forgive you. The second person was the woman who your heart is probably right, and you're not there to do those things, and you don't get drunk while you're at work like I did, or you know, your heart is in the right place, but you don't know what else to do for money. And like I said about myself, praying that the Lord would remove that and make a way for any other kind of job, and just work your butt off and he will make a way. But it's time. And if you are in there, before you leave, grab them souls. Begin to talk to the women. Ask God, please open a door tonight when I go to work. Show me a way. Open the door for this girl who I'm always talking to, that I could share with her, and just let it reverberate around the place, that it would just start a fire in there, and you know, pray over the place while you're in there. All these things I didn't think to do back then. But it's time not only to get out of there, but before you leave, it's time to get souls. Time is short. And then the third people are, of course, are the people who work there. The strippers, right? They don't know the Lord, and they're there trying to make money. They have kids. They don't know what else to do. They're not educated like I wasn't. I just thought, like, there's nothing else I know how to do. I don't know how to do anything. And they don't know what to do. And so I'm telling you right now, get on your knees and talk to the Lord and ask him, please show me. Make it obvious. Make it plain. Make a way of an escape for me, because I don't want to do this. I'm empty, and I'm getting caught in this cycle of drinking and smoking and drinking and smoking and trying other drugs. There were other drugs too. I mean, it's just the stuff that comes in and out of there, guys. And I always felt like that 1% that, you know, I'm speaking for myself, there probably another person like me there, that you really don't belong there. Your heart is not like that at all, which no one really is, but you become that way. And I knew that I couldn't keep doing that. I knew I couldn't. I knew I was wrong, but I was so wrapped up And I didn't know. I only knew that the Lord was pulling on me. And so I just really challenge you to seek him. That was it for the dream. The girl who took me on this tour in my dream could have been an angel showing me, this is what I want you to see, and this is what I want you to go back and speak on. These groups of people, the Lord could have given her something to show me, but he was definitely showing me. And so this is just one of the videos that I needed to urgently get out. When I say that it's an ugly business, it is. I went through so many things at different ones that I worked at, and it's dirty. It's so dirty. Not just like actually dirty, but it's just spiritually, it's filthy. So many demons. And I wish I had more time to get into the details, but a lot of things that went down, and I knew that it was time to get out. And one of the very last things, I'm going to share this, that I knew it was the last day that I ever did this, was I met a man there, and he, to this day, I say he was a demon. If not Satan himself, which I don't think it was Satan himself, but I was being pulled out of that place, and I had just met my husband, and my husband at that time, very wild, both of us were, but I had already prayed, like, if this man is for me, then make it clear, or remove him. And anyway, that was another thing that came, I think, after, because it was about me asking him, like, why aren't we married yet? Like, because it was only, like, we're supposed to do the right thing. So this was after this situation. But I met this man. He came in and he sat down with me, and he had this billfold, is that what you call it? Like a money clip, pure, like it just was gold. And he looked so fancy, like clothes, everything, hair, and he just sat like very elegantly, very almost feminine like. And he was just, he seemed so, I don't even know, charming is the word. And he sat with me, and he said some things that really scared me. And he said, I know somebody who you know. And I was like, who are you? And he's like, let's just say I know somebody that you know. And he pointed up. He said, I've known him for as long as time has been, or something crazy. Like, I was just like, who and what is this? And he said, you're getting ready to make a choice. He said something like that, and you are thinking of marrying this person, but don't do it. And keep in mind, I didn't know a whole lot about the Lord, but I knew this man was cussing, and he was saying, alluding to the point that he was friends with God, right? Or knew him, not friends, but he's like, I know him very well since the beginning of time. And I just started to get the chills. And he was like, this man that you are thinking of marrying, don't do it. You'll be making the biggest mistake. And he kept on saying other things that made me think, like, who is this man? How could he possibly know this? And I ran and called my now husband at the time we were dating, and I said, come pick me up. I can't be here. And that was the last time I ever went to the place like that. I stopped doing that. But now I see, looking back, that that was a setup for me to not marry my husband, because we do have a call to ministry, and the things that the strongholds and the generational curses that we've fought so hard to break for us, our children, him, his family, I see now, like, what God has been doing. And it would have the enemy knew. The enemy knows your story greater than you do. You don't even know what your story is, and the enemy already knows you're a threat to him if you would just snap out of it and get to what you're supposed to be doing. And he knew. And so that thing was set there that night to say, don't do it, trying to keep me from marrying my husband now. And so many blessings have come from doing everything exactly the way God instructed it, down to, is this the person I'm supposed to marry? If not, remove him, no matter how bad it hurts me. Like, you don't just do whatever you want, because there's prices to pay for that. And then people wonder why they go through hell with their spouse and why they're miserable, and why, because you were warned, because you should have known, because God was telling you and you refused. And in this case, I got down on my knees and said, Lord, if it be your will, please, if not, remove him. I know it's going to hurt, and I want this person so bad, and I want to honor you even more. And that's what I said, and he let me know. He made it very clear after that stuff that happened. But anyway, the point of this video was that this is what I came out of, and that is a big part of my testimony. And if those people, any of those groups were you, and you're working in those places, or you're visiting and frequenting those places, it's time to get out. Snatch some people before you walk out that door and tell them about the Lord. I know I sound crazy, guys. Every time I come on here and make a video, trust me, I know, because it either doesn't get a lot of likes, people ignore it, my own family ignore it. But when I know, like I know what the Lord is showing me to share with people who are stuck, who are down to nothing, who feel like there's just no hope and no way out. There are people who have gone through these things. There are people who have come out. And I just want to encourage you, and I just want you to please think about this. Please leave a comment about any part of it, whether you know someone, or whether we can pray together about them, or whether you are that person, or whether, I don't know, whatever you want to share, please leave it in the comments. Please share the video or send it to somebody who you know may be going through this. Sir, if it's you, please know you're not crazy. But before you do lose your mind, God is saying, I'm giving you a chance to come out of this, to come out now and come back to me, because you don't know if you have tomorrow. And women, there are other things. There are other options. You do not have to be brilliant. I didn't think I could do anything at all. Like, I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't even finish high school. I dropped out. And then I wound up working as a hostess. You don't have to know a lot to do that. And then I wound up going to beauty school because I'm creative. And then I wound up doing hair for like years. And then I wound up going to nursing school, which I never dreamed that I could possibly even do. Trust me, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So please be encouraged. Please seek the Lord. Please, I hope this is touching somebody's heart. This was not an easy video to make. And I hope you all receive it well. This is not who I am anymore. And I'm very proud of who I have become, and I'm willing to help anybody who has questions or may know somebody. But I had to be obedient to what the Lord wants me to say. I have to. I don't care how it makes me look with family, friends. I don't care. So be blessed. I love you all, and I pray that this really did something for you. Love you guys.